Isaac, you didn't move out. They say no if you move out. They say no. They say no. No, if you move everything, you know if you go inside. They're not being a problem.
The guys who are there,
They say you know if you take the big thing go. They're not being this. They go where they call them back.
he can't take what?
The tripod. Not be you go in car, but not be the tripod. Oh my God! I only find everyone.
Some more red. You are not anymore. I have one of my tickets. Sorry, good morning. Good morning.
We don't know
No, my reporter is there.
Okay.
You do the registration.
Yeah. Mike, they just in there. They just in there.
I should come back.
So the call can do maybe one call. I'm not going to go allow. It's a new buyer. I'm going to go. I'm not coming. I'm not going. Long what you need. But that's the only thing what's in front? Okay. That's for the money from. But that's for the money from.
Let's march on break.
Oh, so I started. So move. I'm okay. We are. I'm not by we are now.
Please, let's go, let's go.
Let's go on break.
No, they are.
No.
The cars will be passing there, so we'll have to move a little. Please. Sorry.
never been friends. I found what I have the permission to my own. General salute! Present!
Use the other route to the other side, one ahead of them. You know what? I don't know. They are going in, but they are going through. Wait. What I'm saying is, I was thinking of doing the
listening to me for whole. Listen to you. Ça va?
Ah, French.
Ah, ouais.
Madame, parce que nous comment on va y aller.
Yeah, I'm here.
Distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, arriving now is the Minister for Defense of Ghana and the Commissioner of ECOWAS. Shall we please be upstanding and receive them? Please be seated. The Honorable Minister for Defense of Ghana, Honorable Chair of the Committee of ECOWAS Chiefs of Defense Staff, Commissioner of Political Affairs, Peace and Security, Special Representative of the President of ECOWAS Commission in Ghana, distinguished members of the Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff, distinguished generals hearing ahead, officers, friends from the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of the government and people, the good people of Ghana, I wish to warmly welcome you to Ghana in general and Birmingham in particular for the extraordinary meeting of the ECOWAS Committee of Chiefs of the Defense Staff. At this juncture, I wish to most respectfully request all to be upstanding for the ECOWAS anthem. Please be seated. On our tables, we have for aid in terms of translation. So for speakers and Portuguese, kindly use the receivers on the table. Please be informed that the channels for the receivers are as follows. Channel 1 for English, Channel 2 for French, and Channel 4 for Portuguese. Kindly permit me to run through the program for the day. I wish to state that the extraordinary meeting will be held today and tomorrow at this same venue. For today, we shall have remarks by the Chief of the Defense Staff of Ghana, the Chief of the Defense Staff of Nigeria and President of the Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff, remarks by the Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security, and opening remarks by the Minister of Defense of Ghana. After the remarks, we shall proceed to the forecourt of the commandments, that is this venue, downstairs for group photograph. This will be followed by coffee break. After the coffee break, the committee and those who have already been informed will proceed here for the closed door session, during which all media personnel, I wish to emphasize, during which all media personnel will be required to vacate this conference room. Details for the second day will be projected tomorrow. This notwithstanding, the issued program contains details for tomorrow's activities. I wish to also most respectfully indicate that the washroom is located outside this conference room, and one can access it through these two doors. On the left-hand side for the upstairs one, and there are other washrooms also downstairs. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture I will humbly invite the Chief of the Defense Staff of Ghana for the opening remarks. Shall we please welcome him with a round of applause?
For Political Affairs, Peace and Security, Ambassador Abdul Fattah Musa, the Chairman of the ECOWAS Committee of Chiefs of the Defense Staff, General Christopher Gabi Musa, General CG Musa for short, my colleagues, Chiefs of Defense Staff of the ECOWAS region, Chief of the Ghana Army, Major General Thomas Okonkwo, the Chief of the Ghana Navy, Rear Admiral Issa Adam Yakubu, Chief of the Ghana Air Force, Air Vice Marshal senior officers, officers of ECOWAS, staff of the ECOWAS Commission, ladies and gentlemen, a delightful good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. I will first of all want to warmly welcome all of you on behalf of the Military High Command of the Ghana Armed Forces, the officers, the men and women of the Ghana Armed Forces, defense civilian staff of the Armed Forces, to the Command Officers Mess Conference Room for this extraordinary meeting of the ECOWAS Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff. I am particularly excited, delighted, and thankful to the Minister for Defense, Honorable Dominic Nituwu, for accepting to join us for this opening ceremony. Secondly, I am very thankful to the ECOWAS Commission for deeming it fit and selecting Ghana and the Ghana Armed Forces to host this extraordinary meeting. The Ghana Armed Forces is indeed highly honored by this noble gesture, and we are hopeful that the reception arrangements and all the facilities put at your disposal will meet your expectations. I wish to recall with great nostalgia the period that I served as the chairman of this committee at the time that the authority of heads of states and government decided to deploy a stabilization support mission to Guinea-Bissau in response to the attempted coup in that country. With your collective support, determination, and very active engagement, we accomplished the task in a reasonable time frame. Our meetings were held in this very hall, the rest through virtual conferences. Today, peace and stability has been restored, and the ECOWAS mission in Guinea-Bissau is certainly on course. The credit should be given to the ECOWAS Commission and, of course, the work done by the Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff. I think the Commission and our committee did very well, and we require a pat on the back. So let's appreciate by giving them a round of applause. And so I want to seize this opportunity to once again express my profound gratitude to you all and to your predecessors for the unalloyed support during my tenure as chair of this noble committee. In the last few months, our committee and our planning officers have met a number of times in Guinea-Bissau and Abuja to discuss various options to deploy the ECOWAS standby force to deal with the scourge of terrorism threatening peace and stability in the sub-region. Whilst due consideration have been ongoing, it has become necessary to expand the scope of discussion to include interventions in unconstitutional change of government in the sub-region. The charge by the authority of heads of states and government to activate the standby force is therefore in order, and it is in furtherance of our ongoing discussions. I wish to commend exceptionally the current chair of our Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, for the sterling leadership since he took over as chair of this noble committee. It is my humble prayer that we will all continue to accord him the much needed support in leading this noble committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff to navigate through these challenging and difficult times. I also want to thank you, my colleagues, Chief of Defense Staff, for accepting to join in this meeting at such short notice. I encourage all of us to contribute dispassionately to the discussion and offer valuable suggestions and inputs. On that note, I wish all of us fruitful deliberation and urge all of you to enjoy your stay in Ghana. I say, Accra, welcome, bon arrivé, and let me try the Portuguese version. Bem-vindo. I hope I said it right. Bem-vindo. Muito obrigado. Thank you for your attention. May God bless ECOWAS and make our community go stronger and stronger. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Vice Admiral Omoma, CDS Ghana. Shall we please once again give him a round of applause? At this juncture, I wish to most respectfully invite the Chief of Defense Staff of the Armed Forces of Nigeria and Chair of the Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff, General CGTN, for his welcome remarks. Shall we please welcome him to our introduction?
Thank you very much. Akwaza. I'm really very excited because I know discussing with the CDS Ghana, I told him I've never visited Ghana. And for me, it was quite disappointing that I couldn't visit Ghana. But then today, officially, I have the privilege of visiting beautiful Ghana. Thank you very much. The Honorable Minister of Defense Ghana, the Honorable Committee Chair of ECOWAS Chief of Defense, myself, Commissioner for the Affairs, Peace and Security, Special Representative of the President of the ECOWAS Commission in Ghana. Permit me to stand on the already established protocol so that we don't make it monotonous. I am highly delighted to be here today. Deep from my heart, I'm really very happy. Being that we have a challenge that we're trying to find solutions to, Ghana provides a useful atmosphere for us to really sit down and deliberate and be able to arrive at the best options that will be good for our own region. We know democracy is what we stand for, democracy is what we encourage, and democracy is what is good. And so we must, as we sit here today, be able to bring everything to the table to see how best we can not allow the people of Niger to.
Our task as a committee of ECOWAS states is to ensure that our responses to this crisis are not driven by fear, but by the principles of justice, respect for human rights, and the unwavering commitment to the rule of law. We must strive to uphold the integrity of our institutions, protect the sovereignty of our states, and safeguard the democratic rights of our people. In this, the people of Niger are also an integral part. The spirit of cooperation and mutual respect that has always characterized our engagements, I am confident that we will find a way forward. We must remember that our greatest strength lies in our unity. It is this unity that has allowed us to face past challenges, and it is this unity that will see us through the current crisis. As we embark on this important mission, let us remember the words of the ECOWAS Vision 2050, which calls for a region of peace, security, and solidarity. Let these words not just be an aspiration, but a guiding principle in our deliberations and decisions. In closing, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to all of you for your presence here today. Your commitment to the cause of peace and stability in our region is a testament to the statement of our unity and the resilience of our shared vision. As we embark on this journey together, let us remember that our ultimate goal is not just to resolve the crisis in Niger, but to build a stronger, more resilient ECOWAS that is capable of confronting and overcoming the challenges of our time. I want to also thank the Chief of Defense Staff of Ghana, the Minister, and the entire people of Ghana for the warm reception and the opportunity to be here today. Thank you, and may our celebration be fruitful and resolutions resolute. God bless you, God bless ECOWAS, and God bless our dear nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, General Musa. Shall we please once again give him a round of applause? May I now humbly invite the Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security for the ECOWAS Commission, Ambassador Abdel Fattah Musa, for his remarks. Shall we give him a round of applause?
My brother, Honorable Minister of Defense of the Republic of Ghana, Dominic Mitu, another, brother, Christopher Wabi Musa, the Chief of Defense Staff of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, distinguished Admiral Seth Amwama, the Chief of Defense Staff of the Republic of Ghana, my, brother, Special Representative of the ECOWAS President, ECOWAS, President of the Republic of Ghana, here, present, distinguished Chiefs of Defense Staff of our sister nations in West Africa, or their duly accredited representatives and delegations. My Chief of Staff of the ECOWAS Standby Force here, the Director, Peacekeeping and Regional Security of the ECOWAS Commission, also here, colleagues from the ECOWAS Commission, here, invited guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I would like, first and foremost, to thank His Excellency Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana, for his dedication, to the Operation Regional Security in West Africa, which he amply demonstrated during his 2-year tenure as chair of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government. We equally, want to express our profound gratitude to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Ahmed Bola Tinubu, for steering the affairs of our community at this very critical time in our history, and for his dedication. Everybody knows his democratic credentials, and everybody knows his determination to make sure that our democratic process in the region is not put in the reverse gear, and we are grateful for that. I would also like to thank the government and people of Ghana for the wonderful facility, the welcome and everything, the proverbial ababa to us, and I will say Vice Admiral and officers, commanders, and others, men and women of the Ghana Armed Forces, to thank you for accepting to host us in these beautiful facilities and to facilitate the work of the Committee of the ECOWAS Chiefs of Defense Staff. I say Ayiko to you. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this is the second time in the space of about 2 weeks that the Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff of ECOWAS are meeting. The first was from the 2nd to the 4th of August to start a planning exercise for the potential deployment of the ECOWAS standby force to restore democracy, to restore constitutional order in the sister republic of Niger, should all other means fail, including diplomacy and, also, of course, the sanctions that have been imposed on the country. This is the second meeting that we are having, and it follows also the second extraordinary meeting of the ECOWAS heads of state and government, also in the state of, less than 2 weeks, on the 10th of August, who gave us the marching orders. 1, to activate the ECOWAS standby force with all its elements. 2, to start preparation for deployment to Niger should all other measures fail. This junta in Niger is playing cat and mouse with the community. They should know one thing. They have flouted their own constitution that forbids military incursions into politics. They have flouted ECOWAS instruments, particularly the various sections of the Supplementary Protocol on Democracy and Good Governance that declares zero tolerance for power obtained or maintained by unconstitutional means. Sections of the same protocol
talks about the democratic control of the armed forces and their, subjection to the authority of civilian authorities. Their principal role is the defense of the territorial integrity of member states and to ensure, security. And it is ironic that many of these juntas that have overthrown democratically elected government cite insecurity as the reason for which they staged the coup. So if it is insecurity, who should bear the lion's share of the blame? Is it the civilian authorities or those who are supposed to fight the terrorists and other armed groups that are marauding
in our, sub-region. That is the irony of it. And they are thumping their noses to ECOWAS. The President Bola Tinubu deployed a very high-level delegation to go and talk to them, and then to seek peaceful pathways to the restoration of democracy. They confined General Abdulsalami Abubakar, the Sultan of Sokoto, to the airport. This is the former head of state of Nigeria, and somebody who has been a very, very influential person in the political process in Niger itself. They confined them to the airport, and they were rather reading their riot act to ECOWAS instead of the other way around. There was also a mission, joint one, by ECOWAS, African Union, and UN that was also supposed to go and then try to continue on the peaceful pathways to the restoration of democracy. The mission was on the way of the airport when we were informed, that they were not ready to receive us. But since the decisions of the ECOWAS authority, they are pretending, that, now they are ready for talks. But even as they are telling us that they are ready for talks, they are still seeking reasons to justify an unjustifiable coup d'etat. They have charged the legitimate president of the country, Mohamed Bazoum, of high treason. Of high treason because of an op-ed that he penned for the Washington Post, sending an SOS because of the situation in the country. So as the junta goes along, they now find more reasons to justify why they staged the coup. The irony of it, is that somebody who is in the hostage situation, himself, his wife, his child, 20-year-old, and members of his cabinet are being held hostage. And in that condition, he's being charged with treason. When did he commit that high treason? It's everybody's guess. So, there are people in the region who are saying we should not intervene. And that it is because of insecurity, because of bad governance, because of all that. I wish to inform the community in West Africa that the entire world is suffering from, one, the aftermath of COVID-19. What is happening in Ukraine today is having a very devastating impact on livelihood throughout the world. I was in the UK just about a little over a week ago. Shelves were empty, gas prices were skyrocketing, and you can say that for almost all the European countries and all the other African countries. So if because of these difficulties we have to stage coups, then the whole world will be plagued, by unconstitutional changes of government. We say no to military intervention. That is the issue. And the fundamental issue is that ECOWAS is protecting its protocols. ECOWAS is protecting its protocols, and that is why I would want to thank, in particular, General Christopher Gwabin Musa, the chair of the ECOWAS Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff, for his resolute leadership of this committee at this very critical moment. Let no one be in doubt that if everything else fails, the valiant forces of West Africa, both the military and the civilian components, are ready to answer to the call of duty. Your valiance has been demonstrated time and time again in the 1990s in Liberia, in Sierra Leone, in Cote d'Ivoire, in Guinea-Bissau, and recently in Guinea-Bissau again, and in 2016 in the Gambia. Ironically, when ECOWAS deployed the standby force to the Gambia to make sure that a president who had lost elections vacated the presidency, nobody made noise. Today, they are saying, why are you intervening in Niger? So serious interests are at stake here. But that is not going to divert ECOWAS' attention. We just want to tell them that and inform them about the resolve of the ECOWAS heads of state and government to make sure that by all means available, constitutional order will be restored in the country. And this meeting today bears testimony to that. This meeting is a continuation of the planning meeting that took place on the 2nd to the 4th, of August, where the concept of operation, the logistics requirement, financial requirement, timing, and all other factors around the possible intervention were worked out by the chiefs of defense staff. And people are telling us, where are we going to get the resources? So ECOWAS is being teleguided by the West. It is being teleguided by France. It is being teleguided by anybody. But what they forget is that ECOWAS is a rules-based organization. We have our protocols, we have our norms, and we are ready to protect them. That's why the heads of state are saying, if push comes to shove, we are going into Niger with our own contingent-owned equipment. We are going with our own resources and to make sure that we restore constitutional order. If other democracy-loving partners want to support us, they are welcome. But we are not going begging, cap in hand, before we do what is right for the region. So this is the determination that I want to put across here as we meet today, to fine-tune and then also to plan about the timing, about all that. Meanwhile, we are still giving diplomacy a chance. The ball is in the court of the junta, the CNSP, in Niger. If they pull back from the brink, the military option will not be necessary. But we want to warn them that all options are on the table and no option is off the table. So a word to the wise is enough. I thank you all for your attention, and I wish all of us very fruitful deliberations. Thank you very much.
The ECOWAS Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security, Ambassador Abdel Fattah Musa, the Chairman of the ECOWAS Committee of the Chiefs of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, the Chief of Defense Staff of the Ghana Armed Forces, Vice Admiral Seth Amama, the Chiefs of the Defense Staff of ECOWAS, present here, the Special Representative of the ECOWAS Committee in Accra. The Chief of Staff of the ECOWAS Standby Force, Brigadier General Mukhtar Diop, distinguished generals present, as well as officers present, the three commanding officers of various services in Ghana here, Major General Thomas Opompepra, who is the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Frederick Beckman, and the Chief of Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Issa Yakubu. On behalf of the President of the Republic and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the government and people of Ghana, let me say that I'm extremely glad to be invited here at the extraordinary meeting of the ECOWAS Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff to speak to you on a very important matter such as this. My dear generals, officers, our nation, our various nations, that is our sub-region ECOWAS, again is facing crisis that we thought over the last 15 years had disappeared. When all 15 members of the ECOWAS countries had chosen the path of democracy and had civilian governments, ECOWAS became the toast of the international community and the investor wealth. Remember that in Africa, our region in the past had been developed by coup d'etats and military takeovers, whilst other regions did not have same. The southern and eastern countries had relatively been very peaceful, and whilst we were creating issues for ourselves, they were busily, ladies and gentlemen, attracting investments. The result is that our people were there for the West. But today, our nations within West Africa are sliding again into the era that we thought would never come. That is why it is clear to all of us that the security of the sub-region is going through one of the most difficult moments after the challenges in the 60s, the 70s, and particularly the 90s, when rebel incursions destabilized parts of the West African sub-region. And in recent times, the scourge of terrorist armed groups and violent extremist groups have rocked the Sahel region of West Africa. As stated already, the populations of these countries have been affected by these activities, and the people are paying heavy price. Loss of human lives, deterioration of critical infrastructure, school dropouts are abandoned, lingering humanitarian crisis, and states are gradually losing large tracts of their territory to these unfortunate incidents. Who now control and carry out various criminal activities and continue to conduct illicit cross-border trafficking. ECOWAS can only be weaker by these acts. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, as you are all aware, 4 of our member states are now facing sanctions for resorting to unconstitutional change of government, which contradicts the ECOWAS Protocol on Good Governance and Democracy. It will be recalled that following the extraordinary summit of the Authority of Heads of State and Government of the ECOWAS in Abuja, Nigeria, on the 10th of August 2023, convened Ministerial to the recent illegal detention of President Mohamed Bazoum by members of the Presidential Guard in the Republic of Niger on July 26, 2023, ECOWAS deployed all diplomatic efforts to resolve the crisis. But as already stated, the head of the military junta in Niger remained defiant after the expiration of the one-week ultimatum given for the restoration of constitutional order in Niger. Ladies and gentlemen, during the last extraordinary meeting of the ECOWAS heads of state and government on the political situation in Niger, which was held on the 10th of August in Abuja, our heads of state and government directed the Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff to immediately activate the ECOWAS standby force with all its elements for the deployment to restore constitutional order in the Republic of Niger. The heads of states and government issued a communique which was signed by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria, who is their chairman, and they reaffirmed that President Mohamed Bazoum remains the legitimate elected president and head of state of the Republic of Niger, and he is duly recognized by ECOWAS, the African Union, and the international community. My dear generals, permit me to make a quote from the communique for the sake of our meeting and for the very reason why you are here. Article 3 of the communique states that the authority of the heads of state and the government hereby direct the Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff to activate the ECOWAS standby force with all its elements. The authority of heads of state and government hereby order the deployment of ECOWAS standby force to restore constitutional order in the Republic of Niger. Diplomatic and other channels shall remain open for the restoration of constitutional order through peaceful means. All member states, and let me repeat, all member states, the President of the ECOWAS Commission, and the heads of all institutions of the community shall take the necessary measures to ensure the full implementation of this decision. All member states shall take the necessary orders to ensure the full implementation of this decision. ECOWAS calls on UMWA and all other regional bodies to implement the decision. ECOWAS calls on the African Union to endorse all the decisions taken by ECOWAS on the situation in Niger. Further call on all partner countries and institutions, including the United Nations, to support ECOWAS in its efforts to ensure a quick restoration of constitutional order in conformity with normative instruments. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear generals, you and your dedicated and loyal troops today stand on the threshold of history as professionals who are being tasked to help the people of West Africa to enable them continue to elect their leaders through free, fair, and transparent general elections. I am of the firm belief that you, who form part of the most experienced soldiers within our sub-region, will put in place a strategic plan that will boost the confidence of our people and restore hope within our various countries. The spirit of our people in West Africa is with you as you meet here to put the plan in place which will meet the ECOWAS directives. Without trying to make a roll call, I am glad that the Chief of Defense Staff of Nigeria himself, the chairman, is here. The Chief of Defense Staff of Ghana, the host, is here. The Chief of Defense Staff of Ivory Coast is present in this meeting. The Chief of Defense Staff of Senegal is present in this meeting. The Chief of Defense Staff of Togo is present in this meeting. The Chief of Defense Staff of Benin is present in this meeting. The Chief of Defense Staff of Liberia is present in this meeting. The Chief of Defense Staff of Sierra Leone is present in this meeting. And the Chief of Defense Staff of Gambia is present in this meeting. Of course, ladies and gentlemen of the media, it's clear that Mali, who has a flag there, is not present. Guinea is not present. Niger is not present. And Burkina Faso is not present. These are the countries I mentioned were under sanctions and have been suspended. That is the reason they are not present. Of course, our brothers from Guinea-Bissau and Cape Verde have genuine excuses why they are not there. They are not here. Your presence alone sounds and gives me a powerful message to the world that you are united in carrying out the directives of the heads of state and governments of ECOWAS, and that after today and tomorrow's meeting, you will put in place a plan to ensure that the standby force is activated and that democracy will be restored in Niger. If presidential guards in Guinea and Niger, I will use the word, take hostage their president, nobody, and let me repeat, nobody in West Africa is safe. That is why I urge you to continue to be loyal to your heads of states. I urge you to continue to be loyal to ECOWAS directives and to give effect that the days that coup d'etats enjoy the support of our people are over. Yes, in democracy, people will agree to disagree. But the vast majority of our people in West Africa are with you. The vast majority of our people in West Africa do not want to be under the difficulties that we are facing today. You have the right, as men in uniform, to ask your governments for what you will need to be able to defend your nations. You have the right to ask your governments to give you the tools to defend the territorial integrities of your nations, to ensure that your nations remain peaceful. You have the right to ensure that your people choose your leaders in a free and fair manner. But the world will disagree. ECOWAS will disagree. The people of ECOWAS will disagree when you choose, or people under you choose, to take hostage the people that your constitution gives power to. Otherwise, all of us, including you, will not be safe. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, I am very optimistic that between today and tomorrow, all of you will put your rich experiences together to be able to activate the ECOWAS standby force to enable you to respond adequately and swiftly to the demands placed on you by our heads of state. You did it in Liberia. You did it in Sierra Leone. You did it in the Gambia. You did it in the Guinea-Bissau. Of course, to some extent, the world did it in Côte d'Ivoire. And I believe that after Niger, ECOWAS and the world will see that West Africa is back to normal and our people will begin to enjoy the life that they deserve. I wish you the best of luck in your 2-day deliberation. It will not be easy. Nobody wants to go for a conflict. In fact, nobody wants, no soldier, no CDS, no president wants to see a soldier die under him. But when soldiers swear to defend their countries with their lives, they take that oath seriously. And when the authorities bestowed on you by the Constitution calls on you to exercise that mandate, so shall it be. Enjoy your short stay in Ghana as you'll be needed back in your countries. And I say, Akwaba, Ayiko, and may God be our guide. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Distinguished guests, I will please give you another round of applause. And I want to also take the opportunity to thank all the other speakers for giving us the honor. Once again, I wish to thank the Honorable Minister as well as the other speakers for giving us the honor. I wish to once again announce that outside this conference we have a washroom. We wish to announce that the washroom access is dedicated for the committee members as well as dignitaries invited. The rest of us will use the washroom downstairs. One on this block and then one on the other block to the extreme right when you get downstairs. At this juncture, our dignitaries and members of the committee, that is the ECOWAS Committee of the Chiefs of Defense Staff, will proceed to the four corps of the commanders that is usually for group photographs. It is to join in the group photograph. Please hold on, please. The Honorable Minister, the Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security, the resident representative of the President of ECOWAS Commission, Director, Peacekeeping and Regional Security, members of the ECOWAS Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff, the Chief of Staff ECOWAS Standby Force, representative of the Director Political Affairs, and the service chiefs of the Ghana Armed Forces who will join in the group photograph. I will urge our dignitaries to stay put as our friends from the media take leave of us to stand by for the photographs. Thank you.
There you go.
reminded to leave the receivers on your table or on your seat.
Cameraman, hurry up. We are not ready to come up. Are you waiting for them here? We are waiting here. Are you going down? Are you going down?
Please. Madam, please, madam.